Hi everybody, welcome to the Choose Your Own Adventure with Google Forms. My name is Ted Samaras. I am an instructional technology coach in Franklin Township in Somerset, New Jersey. So thank you for welcoming me into Ohio or wherever else you may be seeing this video. I'm really excited to get going today. This is something that I think will be valuable and fun for your students, give your students a lot of voice in the classroom, and it will also be fun to see what they come up with, as well as giving you some variety in your classroom as well. Just as a little bit of background, I am a Google for Education innovator. I'm part of the VIA 20 cohort, which is the first virtual cohort that went on during the pandemic. I'm also a Google trainer, and I'm a Google Educator Group co-leader here in the state of New Jersey. I tend to be most accessible on Twitter, of all the social medias. So here is my Twitter handle. I've included a picture of what my Bitmoji looks like, so you know what I look at a little more in cyberspace. So in order to get started today, I thought it would be nice for you to be able to try your own, choose your own adventure. You get to kind of go into the Google form, press on some of the buttons and see what it's like to be able to be in charge of your own assignments today. So what we've done is we have posted the Google form link below. You can notice that I did try to shorten it for you. So if you are free typing this, please keep in mind that capitalization does matter here for the forms. Would be a great time for you to pause the video and go ahead and try this out for as long as you want. If it's something you want to try out later, you're more than welcome to do that as well. And then you can just either restart the video or just keep watching from here. So now that you've had time either to try out the form and hopefully enjoyed it, or if you're just following along, which is good too, I wanted to take a moment just to kind of talk about now how we built this. And the first thing I want to stress to you is people want to jump into the Google form right away. They want to start building their questions. But if you look at the picture here, it looks like, listen, I'm a big fan of, modern art as much as the next guy, and Jackson Pollock has done some great work. But if you go into the Google form, sometimes this is what your ideas look like if you don't take the time to map them out. All right. I like to call this one Anarchy of the Google form, but I'm sure you might have other names for it as well. One place that I like to map things out is using Google Jamboard. If you're not familiar with Jamboard, it's a great place to just kind of brainstorm. It's collaborative with the students, and it basically a lot of people just use it to kind of like throw stickies down, like you would if you were sitting at a table and you were kind of brainstorming that way. So you can see in the image here, I've taken the time to kind of think out the questions and the places that I want people to go with your Choose Your Own Adventure. So, I have this Welcome to Ohio Jamboard. I've talked about that I need to remember to title it, have the demographics, start out with a main question, and then start to branch out from there. And you'll notice that as I have each of these Post-its or stickies or whatever you'd like to call them, these will be important because this will help let me know how many sections I need in my Google form. So when we go into the actual Google form itself to start building it, I should see that I'm going to need 14, if I've done the math right, sections, which will correlate to what I have here. Other ways that you can think about brainstorming, and you can do this any way you want to. It's really just to kind of get your thoughts down. You can see here in this image, I've just taken just a blank piece of paper, and I started scribbling out, with arrows, where I want the questions to lead to. All right, and that's just as good as the Jamboard. I just kind of made it a little fancier by using the Jamboard. In this image here, you can see I asked the same kind of questions. I basically took 4 Post-its. I had the main one, and then I had the other Post-its here as well. I was being cheap and I didn't want to use a whole bunch of Post-its all over my table, so I kind of tore them up to use like the different sections, but you're more than welcome to color code your Post-its or however you want to do it. Here's another example here of using just an envelope. If you know the great chef Bobby Flay, I know I'm kind of in Michael Simon country here in Ohio, but Bobby Flay talks about getting all his important ideas down on the back of an envelope, and if it doesn't fit, then it wasn't important enough to put down. And so you can see here, I just started sketching some notes here on the back of this envelope. So again, wherever you think you can get your ideas down before you start doing this Google form, you will be better off. Again, unless you're trying to be the modern artist of the 21st century. We are looking at the Jamboard here again that we took the time to map out. Okay, and now we're going to use this in our Google form because the Google form is going to be the structure where the Choose Your Own Adventure is going to live. So you can see here I have my Welcome to Ohio Google form here with the Ohio State flag and everything, which I'm sure you all recognize. All right, and in this first section here, I'm asking for first name, last name, email address. I'm requiring those things for the demographics. Keep in mind that I chose to break out the first name and the last name here because when I do collect my data in my Google Sheet, sometimes I want to sort alphabetically, and it's a lot easier once I've broken out first name and last name to be able to do that and sort it out by last name. All right, in the next section here, I start to ask my first question about city, where do you want to live? And this is where I can put my three choices in, either Cincinnati, Columbus, or Cleveland. Okay, as I come through here too, you will notice that I have pictures here just to give a visual representation. In any of the answer choices and the question, I'll see the image symbol, which is that little square with the two triangles. They're supposed to be mountains, and that lets me know I can put a picture in as well. So I've put pictures in of these three beautiful cities in Ohio just to give the user a visual representation. What I have also done was when I go down to section 3 here, now I specifically start getting into questions about Cincinnati, okay? And so, so we can go from there. And you can see here I've put another picture in of Cincinnati just to show that off. So now we're at the section where we see Cincinnati. So I'm going to come here to this question where I'm asking about which organization we'd like to work for in Cincinnati. And you can see here the different choices for where I can work, either the zoo, for the Reds, or for the Art Museum. Okay, so I'm going to come back up here to my Google form, all right, and I'm going to look. I've done the same thing for Columbus, okay, with their choices here, and I have done the same thing for Cleveland with those options here, okay. Now, as you look, you can see here I've actually kind of pre-built some of the sections, which is important as we talk about that, okay. So now I'm here. I'm looking here at Cleveland, and I am just going to scroll back up to where I am in this choice here, where we get to the first question where we start to branch off, okay? And you can see here, I want Cincinnati to be able to, if I pick Cincinnati, I want these options to come up here rather than, taking them all over Ohio for no reason, okay? You can see here, too, I have the 3 dots. I always suggest clicking on the 3 dots because you always find something good behind there. And there's a spot here that says go to section based on answer. All right, this is available to you with the multiple choice questions. This is not something that is available to you with short answer, so just keep that in mind. Okay, when I click on it, you see here that they default all to continue to next section, but that's not what I want them to do, right? That wasn't the purpose of the mapping. So what I want to do is I want to go to section 3 for Cincinnati, and because I've titled the section, I actually have the name there, so it makes it easier to find. Right, for Columbus, I want to be able to go to section 4, and for Cleveland, I obviously want to be able to go to section 5. Okay, and you'll see that this mirrors a lot of what I had in my Jamboard or in my mapping. Okay, again, you can see here that I have taken the time to build out all 14 sections, and I knew to do that because I had taken the time to map this out and have all 14 stickies there, so I knew exactly what I needed to do. And then if I didn't do that, what would happen is that with these sections, when I went to map them, if there was no place for them to go, they would kind of be like a bridge to nowhere, right? Where I'm basically having the question go, and like there's no option for it to go anywhere except to default to the next section, which you can, which you can definitely see here. And if it goes to the next section, it kind of takes away from the choose your own adventure aspect of it, because then you're just going from one section to the next without even taking into account what the answer was from the end user. Okay, so again, for Cincinnati, I'm going to show you this again. I have here where I want to be able to have the 3 choices and not have them go just to the next section. So I'm going to click on these 3 dots again, and just to model, I'm going to go to the section based on answer again. And now I have the options of going to either the zoo and the botanical garden. I can go work for the Cincinnati Reds, or I can work also in the Cincinnati Art Museum. So I have those options here, and again, that's because I've done the work ahead of time to pre-build these sections. Okay, so now you can see here, right, again, I've finished the sections. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to repeat the same thing for Columbus, and I am going to repeat the same thing for Cleveland. And so what you would do is you would make sure you have all these mapped out, so this way they can go to the particular places of employment that they want to go ahead and get a job. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to focus on the sections here. And in each one of these sections, now that they are going to accept the job in those particular places, is I'm going to want to have a pre-planned assignment for them in there where they, because they chose this particular line of work, they'll have a question here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look back at my Jamboard here. Now, what some people like to do is at the bottom, they like to put a note of what each assignment is that they want for each of these places. What else they can do is that they can, some people like to do this in a Google Doc and just have the list of assignments, however they want to brainstorm it. For this question here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this a checkbox so that this way it gives them the assignment of what they need to do, and then they're basically going to check off saying that they agree to complete this assignment. So the question here, I'm going to talk about being a zookeeper here. So congratulations, and it's always interesting to talk and type during these presentations, but congratulations on becoming the zookeeper in Cincinnati. Right? Please, please describe a day in the life of a zookeeper. All right, and then you're going to want to probably, in this question here, you're probably going to want to put instructions to where you want this. So please create a Google Doc and put it in your digital notebook. Okay, and then finally, so that they can move on, you're going to want to have them check off that box saying that they accept the job. So let me just finish typing this here real quick, and then I will I'm going to go ahead and make that change. So I'm going to have it here, I accept the job. I'm going to make this a required question. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, once they go ahead and check off I accept the job, when I look at the bottom here, I don't want them to just continue to the next section, because then it would take them to go get a job also at the Cincinnati Reds, right? And that would take away the whole point of the choose your own adventure. So once they accept the job, I want them to be able to submit the form. And that's going to be the same for all of the sections. you've enjoyed this presentation of choosing your own adventure with Google Forms. Again, I can't stress enough to take the time ahead of time to pre-plan, to just get your thoughts down. It will make life a lot easier without getting lost in the Google form. And again, it's a great activity for both make life exciting for you and your students, and it's great to use as well in professional development. So with that, I am just posting my contact information here. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, either via email or out on Twitter, on social media. I would be happy to hear back from you, and as well. And thank you very much for the opportunity to present today. I appreciate it.